The Breathing Wall. Chapter 1. The New Apartment. Lisa had never lived alone before. The idea of having her own space excited her. So when she found a cozy one-bedroom apartment in an old Victorian building, she signed the lease immediately. The rent was surprisingly low, but she didn't question it. The place had character, high ceilings, antique wooden floors, and intricate crown molding. Her first night was peaceful, except for one strange thing. As she lay in bed reading a book, she noticed a faint sound, like someone breathing. At first she thought it was the neighbors, but the sound didn't come from above or beside her. It came from inside the walls. She turned off her lamp and listened. The breathing was slow and deep, as if someone was standing just behind the wall, inhaling and exhaling. Her skin prickled, but she told herself it was just the old pipes or the wind outside. She eventually fell asleep. Chapter 2. The sound grows louder. Over the next few nights, the breathing sound persisted. It seemed to move. One night it was near her bed, the next near the kitchen. She pressed her ear against the wall, but heard nothing. Until she pulled away. Then it started again. Lisa mentioned it to her best friend, Claire. "It's probably just an old building settling," Claire shrugged. "Or maybe mice in the walls." Lisa wasn't convinced. The sound was too rhythmic, too human. That night, she decided to record it. She placed her phone against the wall and let it record while she slept. When she listened the next morning, she nearly dropped her phone. The breathing was there, but at some point it changed. A voice whispering, "I know you're listening." Chapter 3. The Dark Figure. Lisa refused to stay in the apartment alone that night. She called Claire, who agreed to stay over. "Let's check the wall," Claire suggested. They knocked on it, tapped in different spots, and even moved furniture, searching for vents or hidden gaps. Nothing. They were about to give up when Claire noticed something odd. The wall near Lisa's bed looked different. The paint was slightly uneven. Lisa hesitated, but Claire grabbed a small knife from the kitchen and gently scraped the paint. To their horror, the knife slid right through. The wall wasn't solid. Lisa's hands trembled as she peeled away the loose paint. Beneath it was a thin wooden panel, hastily nailed into place. "What the hell is this?" Claire whispered. They pulled at the panel until it came loose. Behind it was a hidden space, no wider than a closet, and in that darkness stood a figure. Lisa screamed. Claire grabbed her and stumbled backward, knocking over the lamp. In the flickering light, the figure didn't move. It wasn't a person. It was a mannequin. Its face was blank, but someone had carved a mouth into it, a twisted, gaping smile. Chapter 4. The Hidden Room. Their panic turned into confusion. Why would someone seal a mannequin inside the wall? "I don't like this," Lisa muttered. Claire agreed. They pushed the panel back, sealing the space again, but neither of them could sleep. The next day, Lisa called her landlord. "There's something weird in my wall," she said. "It looks like someone sealed off a space." The landlord was silent. Then he sighed. "I was hoping you wouldn't find that." Lisa's stomach clenched. "What do you mean?" "Look, that building is old. A previous tenant did strange things. He was obsessed with mannequins. The police found his apartment full of them, posed like real people. They said he talked to them, claimed they whispered to him at night. When they arrested him, they found one mannequin missing. We never knew where it went." Lisa felt sick. "You mean, I had the space sealed up, figured it was better that way?" Lisa hung up. She wanted to move out. But it was already too late. That night, the breathing returned. Louder, and this time it wasn't coming from the wall, it was coming from her closet. Chapter 5. The Mannequin Moves. Lisa locked her bedroom door and sat on her bed, gripping her phone. She wanted to call the police, but what would she say? "There's a mannequin in my wall, and I think it's alive." Her breathing was uneven. She listened, ears straining. The closet door creaked, slowly. She grabbed a lamp and held it like a weapon. Then, silence. Hours passed before she dared to open the door. The closet was empty. But when she turned back toward her bed, she froze. The mannequin was no longer inside the wall, it was standing in the middle of her room. Its carved mouth was wider, almost like it was smiling. Lisa ran. She fled the apartment, calling Claire as she sprinted down the stairs. "I'm not staying there," she gasped. Claire picked her up, and Lisa spent the night at her place. They agreed to return in the morning to grab her things. But when they arrived, the apartment door was open. Inside, the furniture was overturned. The walls were covered in deep scratches, and the mannequin was gone. Only one thing remained. On the wall, written in deep, jagged letters, "I know you're listening." Lisa never returned.